here from Speaker Insight, and no Kelly today. We are both Speaker Insight, where we help speakers, authors, and coaches to build a business on your terms, and she's on holiday. So that, for those of you who are joining me, is the buzz in our business. And what I am just going to do is I'm just going to share this out into the various places. So I went live a little bit early just to actually be able to do all the sharing into the various groups that we're actually doing. So I hope you are well, I hope you are happy, and that all is going in the way that you want to. I'm just going to pop this into the Connection Hub. So if you are not in the Connection Hub, that's really the place where we have the conversations, where you can meet other speakers, authors, coaches, where you can have some conversations and just enjoy the kind of joy of speaking to like-minded people who understand what's actually going on. And yeah, so I am just gonna there are only 3 of you at the moment, so I'm just going to keep on sharing things out. I'm just going to share this into Changemaker as well, because Changemaker Central is the membership that we actually have. And for those of you that are gathering yourselves together, you've got me on your own today. And what that usually means is quite a lot of notes that you might need to write. So my passion is, of course, to ensure that you put the foundations into your business. Both Kelly and I are really keen to ensure that as a speaker, author, or coach, that you put the foundations in your business. And for me, that's partly the inner foundations as well as the outer foundations. So a lot of the time we talk about avatar. I have to squeeze that in there somewhere. Do say hi if you're here. I see that 4 of you are here. But what I'd really like to do is actually see, oh, there we go. Hey, Amy, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Kelly, get off. Go away. Or stay for a teeny little while. That's probably allowed. And it's really rather good. Thanks for doing my techie bits. Oh, you are here, bless you. That is really quite funny. Oh, Selena, lovely to see you, my darling. I'm really pleased. And yes, a big hi to you as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the buzz in our business. And for those of you who've joined already, please, please, please tell us the buzz in your business. What is interesting, exciting, happening? What has happened? What have you got coming up? Things that you, hey, Melissa, nice to see you too. Gosh, it is a very global thing today. How delightful. So what I would really love is, what is the buzz in your business? What's actually happening that you could talk about that actually makes people go, oh, I didn't know you did that. So pop it in the comments, because I'm all on my lonesome and I want to make sure that, well, I'm not actually, Kelly's here, but not here, if that makes sense. So today we are actually, so the buzz in our business is next week, Kelly comes back from holiday and we are running our Connect and Create Day. So for those of you who are in the Connection Hub, who have never been to a Connect and Create Day, please come. I've got 2 spaces left. And in fact, one of those may well go by the time I'm actually done with this. So what it is a place where you come, you connect, you meet like-minded people, and you actually spend some time working on your stuff, and you get 20 minutes with either Kelly or I on your stuff, my eyes on your stuff, like nowhere to hide and everywhere to go from that. So please, please, please do come along if you happen to have a spare Wednesday on the 17th of July. Oh, I'll pop the link in here for you just so that you can actually do that. Hang on a second. Here we go, Control C. And in fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. For those of you who are just watching on the Speaker Insight page, let me also just pop the Connection Hub in here, because in there you really will find that the opportunities that are available for you and the connections that are available for you also do a lot of that. So I'm just going to pop those in here and see if I can pin those comments in some way. Yes, I can. There we go. Beautiful. So Joe, let's have a look. The buzz in Joe's business is that she is, by the way, forgive the glasses, you're going to have to kind of just be used to this, and if I can't read your comments and do this. You're starting talks with the public Public Health Dorset and other key stakeholders in your town to bring huge vision for the town to fruition. Secured a friend who's very well connected and he wants to support a social impact project. Oh my word, that's absolutely amazing. So good for you. Amy, Amy, you've got a YouTube channel. Good for you. And you put your first video on there. Good on you. And your course is live. This is really, really exciting. So Melissa's also just about to launch online courses. Obviously, the summertime is not a time when speakers, authors, and coaches rest. I am very pleased to hear that. So, and Selena, let's squeeze this one in before I actually start doing some teaching, because that's probably going to be helpful too. Selena's just coming out to the end of the 5-week group coaching program, which has been a great learning experience. Now looking at setting up a mastermind. Good on you. In what niche? Just in case there's somebody here watching, Selena, you got to do that. So hi to Robert, hi to Josepha, or Josepha, should I say. So let me start you, because there's about 10 of you, and I've actually got loads to go through. I've got it all kind of happening here. Oh, one last one. Buzz in Josepha's businesses. Thanks to Steve Woody, she is now at the beginning of running an automated online service via Zoho. Woohoo. And honestly, that's exactly what we are all about. It's about how do you build a business on your terms, one that supports you, sustains you, one that you are either in all of the time or one that you enjoy actually being out of but still contributing. So that kind of, I'm going to segue that into what today's all about. You want to be running a brilliant business. You want to be making sure that you actually enjoy business on your terms. And here's what happens. As the sort of coaching part of Speaker Insight, I get to see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that happens when we go into a mind space, when we put our heads above the parapet. Because here's the thing, you're all speakers, authors, and coaches. You're risk takers by its very nature, because you have a dream, you have a desire, you want your words, your message, your passion to be out in the world, alive and impacting lives. I'm pretty certain I'm correct about that. Feel free to tell me exactly what, sort of how that goes in the comments. But here's the thing, every time we do that, the saying that I usually use is new level, new devil. And for some of us, when we do that saying of putting your head above the parapet, I kind of feel like I should grow really tall and go with the back line there. But putting your head above the parapet can mean that it can feel like you have a personal attack coming. It can feel like you go into procrastination, into inaction, and really that you kind of crumble under the pressure, or there's a danger of that actually happening. So this Facebook Live is actually all about what to do when you're tested, because really in our language, that's what this is all about. It's about you being able to cope with what, hi Robert, it's about you being able to cope with whatever happens to you. And so as a coach and as the kind of personal progress coach that I am, one of the things I deal with a lot is this whole, what do I do when this happens? Because new level, new devil. And so how do I deal with that is really the purpose for me today. What do you do to go beyond that feeling of being tested? So today is all about your inner foundations. And I, of course, have a 4-step thing for you, because my things are all about quadrants, as you can well sort of tell. So let me kick you off with this. Let's look at what it means and why it actually happens, because it has challenges. Running a business has challenges. Most of us go in very innocently / naively to running a speaker, author, coach business and go, I just want to help people. And then you actually kind of realize because most of us don't read the E-Myth and should. So Kelly, if you're still watching, pop the E-Myth link in here, because it's just such a good book that actually allows you to understand that going from technician through to a business owner that wears all the different hats that we need to wear as business owners, it can be really pressured. It can be a really thing. It can really kind of debilitate us, and we can end up feeling quite dejected with it. And so I want to put this concept in before I do anything. So there's you and there's your business, and you serve your business and your business serves you. But in the path of actually growing your business, you're gonna get tested. You're gonna get things are going to happen, and you're going to find yourself doing some behaviors. You're going to look at, there might be goals that you don't reach, targets that you're setting and then kind of missing or falling short of in some way. Julie, I'm just looking at your comment here. I have no idea what all of those are, but I'm pleased to see them. There's lots and lots of bees, lots of, yeah, I don't know what that means. So I'm gonna see. Amy's got lots of devils chasing her some days, and that makes complete sense. Thanks, Kelly. I appreciate that. That's really kind. So here's the thing. If you're working hard, not getting the results, if you're struggling to put up your prices or to value your stuff, in fact, we've just had a conversation in the Connection Hub around exactly that. How do I do it? What do I do? How do I repackage the model that I've actually got so that it serves me better in some way? It's really about all of those moments that test you in the business. For some of you, it might be the marketing. For some of you, it might actually be the sales itself. It's like, oh, sales is icky. In fact, do me a favor, just pop it in the comments. Which is the bit of the business that makes you feel tested? I'll ask you in a minute about how you're tested, but which bit, like when you think about the business as a whole, you kind of is the one that you go, oh, not really sure about the weight of this one. This one kind of is the one I'm struggling under the pressure of in some way. So as I say, for some of you, it's actually the operational kind of detaily things that you go, oh no, I'm losing things left, right, and center, or I'm not great at the follow-up in some way. Because here's the thing, when I say tested, some of those things count as tested. But 9 times out of 10, what I really mean when I'm talking about tested is the big gulp moments, the one where you have to, for want of a better expression, put your big girl pants on, or big boy pants on for those of you that are listening, of the other gender and any others. So here's the thing. When we make a decision, and this is really what I mean about being tested, when we make a decision to play bigger, to go bigger, go big or go home, when we step into literally that space where we decide to take ourselves to the next level, where we decide to be a stand for a particular thing. Like I know Jo Huey is a real stand for the thing that she's passionate about. And in fact, every single one of you is. That's the very nature of being a speaker, author, or coach, and stepping into. So even the process of going, that's what I'm going to do in the world. I'm going to be a speaker, an author, or a coach. I'm going to give voice to something that I believe in, but something that other people potentially also believe in. And that's really important. So we've got some real kind of things here that are the testers for you, the sales and marketing, the sales in themselves. So we've got some of that coming in. But really, the big tests, the ones that feel like, the ones that pull you into some behaviors that you don't really like procrastination, like dithering, like doing the laundry 17 times over in a week because actually you'd rather be doing that than something else. Those pieces of testing, those are the ones I really want to address today. The ones, like I say, that kind of put a in your throat, and the ones that like have you hiding in the background. Those are the ones that I really want to address. They really are all, if you really think about them, they're about deciding. They're about committing and deciding. So they're about you being here at the moment and it being fairly comfortable, and just going that little step further and saying, I'm going to do it. And sometimes you do it and feel ready, and sometimes you do it and don't feel ready. And either way, it's probably going to test something in you. So testing your mettle, so to speak. Amy's saying, trust me, I never thought I'd have a YouTube channel. That was a huge test. Scared noodles out of me. I've never heard that expression and I love it. Scared noodles out of me. Joseph says, I was tested for a long time about how to present myself because I stupidly got involved in too much and then find it hard to describe myself to others, as per your thing this morning in the Connection Hub. I cracked it yesterday after long, deep, thoughtful consideration. I'm there now. Feels great now. And your words are right and spot on. So good. So here's what I want to do. Yeah, let me do it this way. So for those of you working with the change makers, working with my coaches, working kind of with people when they go through this, I usually take them through a kind of four-step process. It's sort of more of an awareness really that you want to be doing. So get yourself ready to write things down, because really what I want to do is I want to support you in being able to go through these testing moments without them debilitating you, without you feeling dejected, personally harmed, emotionally wounded in some way. I want you to be able to have a process that allows you to do that. So the 4 A's, for those of you who like things up front, let me just actually sort of say this. So the first stage of this is awareness. So I'll talk about these all in a second. The second stage of these is acknowledgement. So don't worry about them at the moment. If you want to do them in Helena's quadrants, you can by all means do a grid on the page. So awareness, stage 1. Stage 2, acknowledgement. Stage 3, appreciation. And stage 4 is action. There's always action involved. You know that with Kelly and I, there's always an action taken, because otherwise what's the point, right? So let me start with awareness. Becoming aware that you are being tested is one of the best ways for you to actually really kind of work it. Oh, there's apparently a bad connection, or certainly for Joe, there is, so you'll catch it on the replay. Hi on the replay. Oh, hashtag replay for the, thanks Joe. Hashtag replay for those of you who actually haven't necessarily weren't watching this live but are now here. Do a little hashtag replay in the comments. We do like to see when you are actually listening. So here's what I mean. You know that you are being tested when these three different areas are affected, and you will have a preference, if you like, for one of these. So it's when we become out of our depth, when we're really frustrated, when you start to kind of notice that, you know, and when I say frustrated, I don't just mean the daily kind of grind. I mean to the point of tantrum, or to the point of complete withdrawal or inaction. That's usually a sign that you are being tested in some way. So here's my first thing for you, and feel free to answer these in the comments. What behaviors do you do, or can you recognize, that might just indicate that you are being tested? Some of the things that I see certainly are procrastination, like doing the same thing over and over and over again, but not getting anywhere with it. That level of procrastination too. Comparison, that whole imposter syndrome, the shrinking back and pushing other people forward, not putting yourself forward, even though you're really angry about it and grumbling in the background going, oh, I could do that better. Those are real kind of behaviors that would indicate to you that you are currently being tested, that you are being called to make a decision that allows you to step up or step in even further. Doubting yourself, that's definitely one. Oh great, I'm fine in the Gran Canaria, so I'm going to take that as read. Doubting yourself, doubt is a massive one, and it kind of comes into the feelings as well. Gertie from Ireland, I'm so delighted you're here. How exciting. Okay, so the next kind of bit, so some of these things will also indicate, you know, you getting snappy with people around you, or you starting to get untidy if you're a tidy person. Anything that kind of, any behavior that's sort of out of the norm for you is usually a sign that you are on the cusp of being tested, or that you are being tested, but you're not realizing it yet. So sometimes the thing happens and we then become aware of it. That's okay. That's exactly why I'm detailing and laboring these a little bit. So the first set is behaviors. The second set is the feelings. So the doubting yourself, the overwhelm, the stuckness, the fear, the judgment. So if I have the jar here, I would say judgment goes in the jar. But that, oh yeah, Amy's a bit of a doubter as well. It might actually be that you're just kind of feeling rejected or dejected. It might be that you start taking the no thank you, not right now really personally, and start to kind of close in on yourself, and you start to really just kind of get depressed or irritable in some way. It really shows up in this way. Hey Sashka, it could also be that you are out of flow. There's just a general sense of I am out of flow. Everything that you normally really love and enjoy suddenly feels icky and sticky and like not moving in some way. So your behaviors and your feelings can be an indicator. So anything out of the norm usually is an awareness call to going, what is going on for me? And maybe there is a test afoot. It could be a little one, it could be a big one. They affect us either way. The body. I'm always going to go to what's happening in your body. How is your body communicating to you that you are currently being tested? So for some of you, that might be about your jaw tensing up in some way and you're just walking around like this and not actually smiling at anybody, which is really uncomfortable. Or it might be about you just getting very, very tense. Maybe your shoulders kind of take all the tension and you walk around saying things like, I really need a massage. That's usually a sign that the body is in tension in some way that could be you noticing that you are indeed being tested. These usually go together. So you've got the thoughts, you know, kind of going in, but you've also got the body things that are going on. It could well be that you start getting clumsy with things, or that you start tripping up or having little accidents in some way. The body's trying to get your attention. For some of you, it could actually be that you start craving salty foods or sugary foods, or, you know, go and stand by the fridge. That's my favorite. Go and stand by the fridge and go, oh, what else can I eat? Just so that I don't have to face the thing that is actually kind of testing me in some way. For some of you, it could be you and the couch become really good friends. So what's your favorite way of noticing that you are being tested? That's really my call here. Some of you will do a behavior, some of you will have some feelings, some of you will have some thoughts that are really horrible and you wouldn't say that to your best friend. And for some of you, it actually might just be your body that's actually speaking on your behalf. Whatever it is, start to take those. If you're doing anything out of the ordinary over a period of time, I would take a step back and just become aware. And just ask yourself, what is happening? What's different? Why am I being triggered? What's the trigger here? What are the thoughts? What am I reacting to? Because the more aware you become, the easier it becomes to actually deal with what's going on. But the first step is absolutely awareness. So just shining a light on the behaviors, the feelings, the body, the thoughts that you're actually having can be the very first step to go, I think I might be being tested here. And be kind with that and just go, oh, I'm noticing, I'm observing. I used to have a wonderful yoga teacher for about 18 months when I was working at the fire brigade. We used to do yoga on a Thursday, and she always used to, and her voice is in my head. You know how some people's voices are in your head? Yes, I absolutely know that Kelly's voice is in Andrea's head, for example. But Annabelle used to always say, when we were nice and relaxed, she would say, observe the body. And actually, it's one of the core pieces of wisdom I offer you here. Become aware, observe the body, observe the thoughts, observe the behavior when you're doing something out of the norm. Because 9 times out of 10, it's because you've either made a decision to do something and then you've terrified yourself into inaction, or you're on the cusp of making a decision and something is showing up that needs dealing with and attending to, that allows the whole of you to actually commit. Because there's a difference between decision and commitment. And so I'll share this as a little story for you. I went to one of these personal development seminars. I go to quite a lot because actually they really help me to help other people see where they're at. And I'm sure some of you have done this. They did a board break. In fact, actually, just over here. it's half of the board that I broke. And I did a board break on the one day, and the metaphor, because I like to learn from every experience that's coming, the metaphor for that was really, if I want something, I have to focus on the thing, not the barrier that's actually in front of it. I have to focus on what's actually, you know, beyond the barrier. So keep your focus on that. That was a great bit of learning. The second bit of learning that we got was doing a fire walk. And really, that is once you've made a decision and stepped on, just keep going, because otherwise if you stop, it really hurts. So that one really for me is a very key part that allows you to actually do this. Kelly's just kind of chipped in with some overthinking and trouble sleeping is another really, really good way to recognize that you're actually doing that. Nice one, hun. So we've got, you know, the board break. Keep your eye on the prize. That's how I've rephrased it in my mind. Once you've actually made a decision, just keep going, like, you know, sort of whatever happens. And that's part of the whole being tested thing. So once you do make a decision, you actually just keep going on it, because actually if you stop to think about the decision and analyze it, over analyzing is another one, then actually if you're standing on red hot coals, that hurts, right? You're better off actually going all the way through to the end of the action and then reflecting and going, how was that? Did I enjoy it? Would I do it again? Would I do a longer one, a shorter one? Would I do it somewhere entirely different? Would I do a blast walk? So as an alternative. But the one that really, really did it for me, and this is the one I want to offer to you, is, so the title of this was actually going to be The Bar Bend and Beyond, but I figured none of you would understand that. So what to do if you're tested kind of made the cut. So if you've done an arrow break or a bar bend in some way, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, this really tender part, and I'm sure the physical body people can actually tell me what that's called, but this tender little part, don't press too hard, is really a gentle part of your body. Now imagine that with, you know, when they build buildings and they have those steel poles that the cement goes around that holds up a building. Imagine that with somebody in front of you and the instruction that you need to bend the pole simply by moving together, just with the bar resting on this tiny little place here. Trust me, the very first thing that went through my head was, oh my God, I'm going to end up a paraplegic. The second thought was, oh my God, I'm going to kill my friend. And so we're stood actively having this learning piece. And what was important about it was that as I stood there, the first time we had a go, so I decided I was going to do it, but I hadn't committed. So the first time we did it, I backed away, having had those thoughts. The second time we did it, I was doing it with my best friend Dina. The second time we did it, she must have had some weird thoughts going on in her head. The third time, both of us had obviously committed. And here's the thing, we actually bent it in about, you know, a nanosecond, and it was melted like butter, and it was a big fat smile, metal smile that was lying on the ground. The point here is that the metaphor for me is this, is that you're gonna get tested. You're gonna have something pushing at you in some way that goes, are you sure? You've made a decision, but are you committed? Because actually the universe will give you one almighty final test that actually goes, are you really sure? And then once you actually say, yes, I am, and you commit and you go for it, or you walk to the end of that fire, you make the metal smile, you do whatever it is you do that actually says, yes, I'm ready, that test then is the last test that you get of that nature. Don't get me wrong, we're all beautiful artichokes and onions, and so there's another layer, new level, new devil. But the point about it is you don't need to repeat the same thing over and over and over again if you decide and then commit and take the action that allows you to commit. So I give you that as a story that actually allows you to just be present with it. Andrea, I know you've stopped 3 steps into the fire, so keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. So the first step is awareness. Become aware of your behaviors, your feelings, your thoughts, and your body. What is it telling you that you are being tested? If so, stop and be kind and just work with awareness. As soon as you notice any of those, here comes stage 2. Stage 2 is acknowledge it. Go, okay, I get that I'm doing something out of the ordinary. I get that I'm having a little bit of a freak out. Thank you, Sarah. And the second thing then is to actually ask yourself, well, what are the facts? What can I acknowledge about this situation? What is it? The more we know, the easier it is for us to choose a path, for us to actually really say, this is what I'm going to do. Hang on, I'm just going to have a little sip of coffee. Now, this is the stage that calls for us to actually simply note things. Once you've noted down, are you all sending like love from a cup? Is that what it is? I think it is. Be awesome. That's what it is. Oh, I'll bet. So Kelly was just saying here that she did an arrow break with T. Harv Eker, which was a big test of overcoming logic. Yeah, I had the same thing. It's like, oh my gosh, what goes on in the mind? Oh, Jeanette, bless you. I love the support that goes on in here. It is a big cup. Yes, honey. It is, but big cups, like, be awesome. We are awesome humans in this way. So acknowledge, get clear on the facts. Getting clear on the facts is really about noticing everything that's going on. So once you know that you're being tested, you go, okay, well, what is it about this situation that is testing me? And you just start to become, so back to observe the body, observe the situation, everything and anything. So I don't know how to do it. I am afraid I'm going to be found out. I'm a fraud. I'm an imposter. I'm procrastinating. I'm doing, I'm. No judgment. Just get clear about the facts, because as you do that, you will start to claim it, you will start to own it, and you will acknowledge that it's got a hold on you. And that's vital for you actually claiming, if you like. I'm so sad Steph's not here. Steph, when you watch this, you know, we claim the darker side of ourselves as well as the lightness and the desire that we actually have. And so as part of the acknowledgement, claim all of that too. What I want to have happen is this: that person actually does this. Oh, Tim, mug tangent. Yes. His says, cool raver. I like it. You see, now I just want to know what everybody else's mugs say. But it's that. The second stage is acknowledge. What are the facts of this situation? Really, just write them down on a list. Get yourself a sheet of paper out and write them down on a list. Everything you know about it. Kelly's saying it's good at this stage to acknowledge what you can control and what you can't, for sure. So that's exactly the stage I was going to get to, which is when you've written all of it down, you can then actually circle the things that you can do something about. And the things that you actually know are holding you back from fully committing to the decision that you've already made. Because remember, you make a decision and then we commit to the decision, but there's a tiny gap somewhere in there, and making this list can help you with that. Knowing the things that are out of your control, don't just scratch them out, because you can do something about those, but knowing what's in your control, claiming those, is a really vital thing. So based on that, because the things that are out of your control, you're about to actually kind of learn from. So we can learn from this gorgeous list. So the third stage is this. My mug says tea, Jeanette says, which I really love. Hashtag mug tangent. Kelly, from here on in, I think we are going to have a mug tangent in some way. So the third stage, so remember, we've got an awareness. What am I doing that actually highlights to me I'm being tested? Get the facts, acknowledge what are the facts of this situation, everything about this that allows me to actually understand what I need to claim. And then the third stage is this appreciation. What's the learning here for me? What else is possible for me? So this is where you dig a little bit deeper. You go, okay, where's this actually coming from? What am I being called to do here or be here? Because it might actually be that there's just this new level, new devil. I need to be more visible in the world. And I know that that's a massive thing for so many of us. So okay, well, how can I do that? What else is possible for me showing up and being visible? For me, that actually showed up way before Kelly and I actually started doing this. That showed up in me doing my 2-minute videos, the shiny shoves that I've now been doing for about 3 years, which is amazing. But it was terrifying, the thought of doing a month of 2-minute videos, Facebook Lives. Actually, no, I did them as videos for the first 17 days. I did them as videos because I was terrified of doing the live thing. So I did them then, and then I got fed up with the whole faffing about with it, and it wasted far too much time because I got comfortable with it and I began to understand what the facts were. So I did them slightly differently. And now I can pull out a little shiny shove on a daily basis. Most days, most weekdays, I do actually do those. And so the point about this is that you start to do, what's the learning here, what's the possibility that's available, because it might actually be that it's an age-old belief that you've held that you're no longer willing to have, which is where the frustration or the irritation has come from. It might actually be that you learn that that belief is somebody else's entirely. Hey Lindsay, welcome. It might actually be where you can very practically start to look at the steps that you could do and lay out to deal with this new level. So what do I need? Maybe it's someone you can outsource to. Maybe it's if you don't understand sales or marketing, who else does? Who do I know that can? Or what do I need to learn that actually is in there? So having an appreciation for where you're at and what you bring to this new level, because not all of us know everything. It's impossible, and that's really good to know. So what can you do? Is it about stepping into a whole new business model? If so, if that worries you, what information do you need that makes it calmer? What information do you need that puts you back in control, as Kelly was just saying? So it really is about saying, what can I do differently? What do I need to learn? What do I need? It may actually be something more intangible, like, I just need a friend to actually talk this through with every now and then. Or that's actually why we set up the Connection Hub in the first place. I just need some like-minded people that won't tell me it's mental what I'm doing. In fact, one of our change makers inside the membership that we have, actually was going through something, head above the parapet, is getting loads of kind of come back at her from stepping out and stepping up in some way. And that actually, the support that's available inside the group has been enough to just help her go, oh, okay, good. It's okay. I don't have 3 heads. I don't have to listen to all the people who are saying I shouldn't, because there's a whole bunch of other people who say I can. And so finding, it might just be at this appreciation stage, learning that there are certain people I share this with until I'm out and in the world, and there are certain people I don't. Or there's a support level I need for me, or a resilience level in me that I need. It might even be that you discover that, when I get affected by what somebody says, then actually I just need to go and do some exercise, or go for a run, or sit and meditate for a little while, because actually that relieves all of those feelings, and I can then keep going because I have my passion and my dream. Kelly's saying, I think as your business grows, you take on a new identity and have to let go of the old ones to fully step into it. I so agree. And so we are constantly catching up with ourselves, and sometimes parts of ourselves get ahead without us realizing consciously. So when we've moved forward and we don't stop necessarily as often as we could, and that's partly what these 4As are about, is just to stop and go, what am I aware of now? What am I acknowledging where I've come from? Which is why we do celebrations on a Friday, by the way, every time in the Connection Hub. And then what can I appreciate about this? What have I learned, or what do I need to learn? What support do I actually need? And then finally, once you've got that possibility thinking will have come up with, oh, hang on a minute, I could reach out to Bob, or I could speak to Mary, or I could actually reorganize my desk in the way that it works, or my business model needs to change, or I can do this bit of learning inside the monthly spotlight, or whatever it is that you actually do. That leads you to the 4th A, which is act, or action. And in action, that's really, and I am going to say this, the action piece is always hashtag Friday feeling. Thank you, Kelly. And I'm going to say this about the action. we're dealing with, sometimes the first action is to deal with the trigger, to deal with that awareness of, actually, I really got triggered emotionally. Who do I need to speak to? Or I really, like, my behaviors are like, so when I catch myself at the fridge, I will own up to that one. I usually now know that if I stood at the fridge for about 20 seconds just looking in the fridge, I kind of know that something's going on. And I usually back away from the fridge now and go, okay, what do I need? Right? Because I've acknowledged it. So this can be really quick for you. And then go, actually, what's the action I need to take that gets me beyond that? For some of you, it might actually be, I've noticed the trigger and I do need to go and bounce on my trampoline for 5 minutes just to shake it out. Kelly will say more about this, but you know, when an animal shakes itself out, it's shaking off the fear. It's shaking off the thing that is icky to them. So sometimes you might just need to, like, I swear to God, it's one of the best things you can possibly do is stick a really good piece of music on that you love to boogie to, stick it on for 3 to 5 minutes and just move your body, because moving your body will actually get that first initial shock out. And then you'll be in a better position to do the acknowledge, make your list, and to do the appreciate, what do I need, and then to actually take appropriate action. So hopefully you've got some idea of how to deal with it when you are being tested. Become aware of how you know that you've been triggered, because sometimes we've been triggered for a little while and we don't even realize it or know that that's what's going on. Then acknowledge it, make those lists, become aware of what's in your control, what's not in your control, become aware of what you actually how you're doing your thinking. Is it mainly the thinking? Is it the doing? Is it the needed pieces that are in there? Then appreciate what's next. In effect, what do you need in this situation? Hold on. And finally, oh yeah, go for a dog walk. Jeanette, I'm right with you, and that's going to happen just after, which is really good. It's a great reset, and playing with them. Yeah, playing a great song. What great song gets you going, Jeanette? Let's see how that one works. And Kelly's saying, they don't hold the negative feeling in their cells. They acknowledge, learn, and release. So that's talking about animals actually shaking out the danger that has now passed. So we are mammals, like, so why can't we do the same? And the truth of it is that you can shake that off and you can change your state in a really easy way. So it really works. And Lindsay, you're welcome. So the final kind of piece that I really want to say here is make the plan. Allow yourself to actually go on the back of what I've just learned, on the back of taking a step back. And by the way, that step back can be as short as the length that it takes to drink a big mug of whatever it is. But the key thing for me is that you allow yourself the support, you allow yourself to actually step back for long enough to do the 4 A's. So awareness, acknowledgement, appreciation, action, and recognize. So I'm gonna do this. Kelly's gonna laugh at me in a moment. I'm pretty certain. But here's the thing, recognize that it's a test. As soon as you become aware of it, and that awareness can happen at any point, it can happen right at the very end of something, and that's okay. You're just getting used to becoming aware. But as soon as you become aware, then you just stop and you go, because there's 4 A's, right? So repeat after me in your house if it doesn't look too weird, or if you're in a cafe, then you can just look like you're meditating, really. But here's the thing, 4 A's. I need to become aware. I need to acknowledge. I need to appreciate, and I need to then act. Because recognizing that and remembering that you're an expert, remembering that you have a passion and that you have an intention, and you don't need to crumble in the face of other people's stuff, and that you can then resolve to actually make up your mind to make that decision, and then refocus on actually making that a full commitment. That is the key to you not being tested or not being debilitated by the testing that happens. Because here's the deal. Eleanor Roosevelt said, and it's one of my favorite sayings, is do one thing every day that scares you, right? And so we're going to be tested all the time. So we may as well be in charge of the testing that happens. I just saw some things happen on here. I'm just going to have a little read. Oh, Bruno Mars. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Runaway Baby. Nice. Or anything from Muse. Oh, Kelly, look at that. You and Jeanette need to have a conversation, obviously. And Andrea, no gin, not allowed. Well, a tiny one, maybe. That would be good. A flavored one, certainly. Rhubarb, very good. U2, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Really, really good track as well. I feel like we should actually just have a dance party on a regular basis. And Sunday Bloody Sunday at full blast, a real rebel song, which is really good. So here's the deal. So for those of you who happen to be free on Wednesday, the 17th of July, please come to the Connect and Create Day. We love meeting you, but we also love helping you and supporting you. So if you're free, come, meet all the others. There's only 16 in a room, and see just how much you can get done, get the support from us. For those of you who aren't in the Connection Hub, come on over to the Connection Hub, where we have a whole bunch of wonderful people, as you can see here. And for those of you who are currently being tested, don't stay silent, reach out. That is me, over and done with for now. Kelly, enjoy the rest of your holiday. I can't believe you stayed here for the whole of the time, and I love you. And yeah, that's basically it. See you next week for a corker.